Hello students, this is Miss Dalton, and this video is going to be on the factor and remainder theorem. So look at this first example. We're going to use synthetic division and we're going to identify the remainder. So using synthetic division, you'd want to divide by the opposite of this. So you're going to put a negative 1, and I'm going to do this rather quickly. There's no missing terms, so the coefficients are 2, 1, -5, and 2. Bring this down, multiply, add, and multiply. So the remainder here is 6. Okay, now let's evaluate this exact same polynomial, but we're going to evaluate f of -1. So what that means, again, is we're going to plug in a -1 everywhere that we see an x. So we're going to have this. Okay, now let's evaluate that. Well, -1 to the third power is -1. -1 times 2 would be -2. -1 squared is a +1. -5 times -1 is a +5. And then we'd have +2. When I add all those numbers together, notice that I get 6. So what do you notice about these two answers? We've got a remainder of 6 here, and when we plugged in -1, we also got 6. So hopefully you're noticing that they are the same. And this is what the remainder theorem says. It says, if f of x is divided by x minus a, then the remainder is equal to f of a. So what does this mean? It means that the remainder in synthetic or long division, either one, is the same value as plugging it into the function. In other words, we can determine the remainder without using synthetic or long division. And so this is helpful sometimes when you would rather just evaluate the function than divide it. So if we look at this example, determine the remainder without using synthetic division. So we're dividing by x minus 1. Now again, what you're going to do is you're going to plug in the opposite of that, which is 1. If I plug that in everywhere I see an x, I'm going to have 2 times 1 to the third power minus 3 times 1 to the second power minus 5 times 1, and then plus 6. So let's figure out what this would be. So f of 1 is equal to 1 to the third is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 squared is 1, so 1 times -3 is -3. -5 times 1 would be -5, and then plus 6. So when I add all of those up, f of 1 is equal to, let's see, that would be 0. So let's look at another one. Determine the remainder without using synthetic division. So again, we're going to take this opposite, and we're going to evaluate it for that number. So f of 5. So we're going to take 3 times 5 squared, we're plugging it in for x, minus 7 times 5 minus 1. So what would that equal? Well, 5 squared is 25. 25 times 3 is 75. -7 times 5 is -35, and then minus 1. So 75 minus 35 is 40. 40 minus 1 would be 39. So my remainder, when I divide by x minus 5, my remainder would be 39. Okay, so why is this important? Well, this kind of plays into determining whether or not something is a factor. So let's take it back to when you first divided integers. When you take 150 divided by 2, so let's do that. 2 would go into 150. Okay, 2 goes into 15 7 times, that would be 14, subtract, then it would be 1, drop down the 0, so 2 goes into 157 times, 75 times, and it has no remainder. What about 150 divided by 7? 7 goes into 15 twice. That would be 14. Bring down the 0, so 7 goes into 10 one time, but it would have a remainder of 3. So this one has a remainder of 0, and this one has a remainder of 3. Do you think 2 is a factor of 150? Well, it is a factor of 150, and it's mainly because it has a remainder of 0. So yes, it is a factor, meaning it goes into it evenly. It has a remainder of 0. Is 7 a factor of 150? Well, when I divided 7 into 150, I got a remainder of 3. So no, it is not a factor because the remainder is not 0. Okay? So this plays into what we call the factor theorem. The factor theorem says that in a polynomial f of x, if a term divides evenly into a polynomial, meaning you end up with a remainder of 0, then the divisor x minus a is a factor. Therefore, you can either use when f of a, so you could plug in a and evaluate it, and if you get 0, then that means that you have a remainder of 0. So if that happens, then a is a solution to the polynomial, and x minus a is a factor. So we call just the number by itself, that's going to be your solution, but then if we take it into the polynomial x minus a, that is your factor. And then vice versa works as well. When x minus a is a factor of f of x, then f of a equals 0, and a is a solution to the polynomial. Okay, so let's look at some examples. So basically what you're going to do here is here we have that they have given us that f of 5 is equal to 0. So that means that when I divide by x minus 5, because you want to take the opposite of this, x minus 5, then it is a factor. So x minus 5 is a factor, and 5 is a solution. And so that's going to happen anytime you have a remainder of 0. This number right here is your solution, and this right here is your factor. And so 1 and 3 is true. All right, so here, the next example. Given that f of 2 is equal to 20, notice that this is not 0. Which of the following is true? Well, it is not 0, so that means 2 is not a solution, and x minus 2 is not a factor. And so none of these are true, and so you would just put none of the above. All right, let's look at an example worded a little bit differently. So it says use synthetic Use synthetic division to determine if the given x minus a is a factor of the given polynomial. So we can use synthetic division. So let's take the opposite of x minus 2, so that would be a positive 2, and let's synthetically divide it. So we've got 2, we've got 7, we've got 6. There's no missing terms. All right, so drop down your 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 7 plus 4 is 11. 11 times 2 is 22. It gives us a remainder of 28. So is it a factor? No. X minus 2 is not a factor because remainder is not 0. So remember, the remainder has to be 0 in order for it to be a factor. Now, I'm going to do this next example a little bit differently because we can either use synthetic division or we can evaluate f of the opposite, so f of 1. So let's figure out what this is. So if I plug in a 1, I'm going to have 1 cubed minus 3 times 1 squared minus 1 plus 3. So let's evaluate that. F of 1 is equal to 1 to the third power is 1. 1 squared is 1 times a negative 3 is negative 3. Then we'd have a negative 1 plus 3. Okay, well this actually equals 0, which means that my remainder is 0 if I used synthetic division. So yes, x minus 1 is a factor because remainder is 0. All right, so these last two examples, I want you to try them on your own. And remember, you can either use synthetic division or you can evaluate the polynomial. So try these on your own and then press play when you're ready to check your answers. All right, for both of these, I used evaluation. So I took, in this first one, I took -2 and I plugged it in for x. Now, I used my calculator to do this, and this is something that you can do as well, as long as you put all of those values in parentheses. So whatever you're plugging in for x, make sure you put it in parentheses when you type it in on your calculator. And so this came out to be -84. You can see that right here. When I plugged in a -2 everywhere I saw an x, I got -84. So that means that x plus 2 is not a factor because remainder is not 0. So x plus 2 would not be a factor. Now, in this second one over here, you can see that I did the exact same thing, but instead of plugging in a -2, I'm plugging in a +2 everywhere I see an x. And this comes out to be 0. So that means that x minus 2 is a factor because the remainder is 0. Okay, so hopefully that helps explain the factor and remainder theorem. We'll work more on this in class when you come to class.